I have about $50,000 into these altcoin ASIC miners, specifically for Nervos Network CKB. Hey, I'm Vosk. You're on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. I've been documenting my crazy crypto journey. Why am I mining this coin? Is it the mining play of the century, or have I been losing money? Let's dig into it. So when we click over to mining pool stats stream, and we go by mission, we go down to number 11, and it doesn't have every coin ranked here, but out of these, Nervos Network ranks here. The emission is pretty low. The coin's traded a lot higher historically than it is right now in recent history, particularly. So only $21,000 in emission in the last 24 hours. That's not that much. That's not that much. 5 million trading volume here. And Nervos in particular has a mining pool centralization problem with F2 pool. So if you are on that pool, please consider moving to a different mining pool, and hopefully there'll be an even better mining pool option for CKB in the near future. So I mined CKB on their test net with GPUs and then ASIC mined it after that. It's a proof of work blockchain. It's multi-layered. They're also a layer 2 solution for Bitcoin. And above all, their base layer is committed to proof of work, committed to mining, just like Bitcoin is.
We choose not to go with proof of stake, and that is out of the I guess the desire for security and simplicity. Proof of work has been proven for over a decade now, and there's so much research and understanding of how proof of work works. Like, we have a pretty good idea about it.
So check out Nervos and learn more about it if you want to, but we're going to focus more in here on the mining. In particular, the best miner you can get for these is still the bitmain Antminer K7, and you can buy these at Coin Mining Central if you want. We also have coupon code VoskCoin to save some coin. I wouldn't buy this. This is overpriced for what these do. But when you look at CKB miners, right? This is on Mining Now, Mining Profitability Calculator, everything calculated, paying your electricity bill, right? So that's how we get the profitability after you pay the electric at 8 cents per kilowatt hour. There's literally not a profitable CKB miner that exists in the world. It's literally just a matter of which one's gonna lose less. Bitmain, I don't think has sold a K7 in about a year. And about a year ago, CKB was trading significantly higher than it is right now. I mean, it's down 78%. From what it traded at about a year ago. So that's rough. That's frustrating. I'm thankful, right? I've made my money back on my CKB miners, but most of the coin that I've mined and held, and I've been riding it down, and it hurts. So right now at 8 cents per kilowatt hour, I'm mining about $5 of CKB a day, and it's costing me about $6 a day to do that. So I'm spending $6 and getting $5 of CK bytes. The Nervos Network coin there. And I'm having issues with my utility company, and really my effective, like my actual realized electricity rate is coming in more towards like 9 cents per kilowatt hour, which means it's actually costing me $6.60 to run this. I'm losing like $1.50 a day. Have you ever thought about going to Mining Disrupt, biggest Bitcoin mining expo and conference, but you didn't want to go to Florida? Well, congrats. Now you have a different option. Dallas, Texas. November 11th, 13th. Code VoskCoin to save 20%. This has me wondering, should I just be buying the coin, or are we going to see some good price action soon? Now, I have a lot of hardware. I don't want to make the wrong decision. To give credit to Nervos Network, right, this is just tough market conditions, and they're actively investing in their community. In particular, Nervos Community Catalyst, which I want to highlight, and we are, thankful and proud recipients of some Nervos Community Catalyst support. But basically, if you want to do anything related to CKB, you should reach out to them. You should make a thread. You should send a message. You should whip up an email because they may be interested in supporting you through resources, right? Giving you access to, say, like their developer team, or having you represent them at a conference, or paying for your time to contribute to CKB, whether that's dev work or even content creation. So for example, they featured our coverage here, and they're working on some pretty exciting mining pool initiatives. So Nervos is not a dead project, and like they're trying and they're putting money into marketing, and that's cool, and that's exciting, and that plus their commitment to proof of work, and just how I'm just enthralled by proof of work and mining in general, I can't help but just be excited about CKB still and support them still. You look at the network difficulty chart on CKB, like, has that gone up? Is that why mining profitability is so low? No, it's been trending down. I mean, we look at the top of this chart about a year ago, about 3 exahash. And now we look at the top of the recent chart, it's more towards 2.6 and trending down. And this recent price movement is not going to pick those things up. So I have, again, 15 miners, 3 are on a different pool, testing that pool out. The returns on 12, 17,625 CKB, CK bytes, and it's only $60. That's not a lot of returns for how much these cost to run. And I've solo mined with this. We've shown that content before, so that's pretty cool. That's exciting. It's really easy to hit blocks on CKB. And I'm just kind of wondering what is next in the mining game for CKB in particular, because I would never recommend picking up a K7 right now, because this is hardware from the end of 2022. These manufacturers are going to have better gear in their back pocket. Bitmain in particular, they probably have something that's twice as powerful and twice as efficient as this. And the K7s were notably kind of a pain. One of my K7s, one of the hash boards just never really worked right. And that's been kind of annoying, required a lot of frequent restarts, and it seems like the hash board is finally given out and it only hashes around like 40 terahash a second. Previously, NiceHash was a popular option for these miners in particular, but since NiceHash 1 requires KYC now, which makes them so much less interesting, and then also some of the NiceHash mining profitability is reportedly less than pool mining, right? It's a significant drop here, mining on NiceHash per the mining calculator compared to just straight up mining the coin. When you look at my sample size of 2 miners and my returns, right? So that's, $60, and that's a little bit below where I should be. Close enough, a little bit of discrepancy there. But in this market and these returns, it definitely feels like every dollar counts. We zoom out even further, and CKB has had some major movement over the years, right? Previous cycle, 2 huge pumps in that alt season. You look at this, you see this chart, and you kind of feel like the cycle already came and went. It's a little terrifying, to be honest. And it makes you wonder, will we see the alt season we always wanted? 162 million market cap. It's huge room for upside as far as crypto goes, but it's also still a sizable market cap, right? This is a coin that could easily 10x, if not more, but that doesn't mean that it will. I hope it does. It's easy to get down. It's easy to get discouraged, but if you really want to make life-changing gains, you got to get big exposure to projects that are still alive and still pushing. And I'm not trying to shill CKB. Go out there and do whatever you want to do.
Scared money don't make no money.
Obviously the backbone of our mining farm is of course Bitcoin, and you can see that just based on the simple numbers here. And I just deployed 3 more Bitmain S21 XPs this week, and no, Bitmain is not my favorite company. No, the S21 series is not my favorite series of miners, but they have high efficiency, which coincides with as a necessity for my higher electricity rate as far as the mining game goes. So one thing I've contemplated is shipping my K7s off to be hosted, right? So we work with a couple mining farms, one of those being Musk Miners. You can check them out with the link out in the video description below, but I bring it up for the simple reason of, they can source you gear, run your stuff, all that. But they have 8 cent per kilowatt hour electricity rate at a minimum order quantity of 1, right? So if I'm paying 9 cents and I have to do all the work myself, I may be able to give myself a longer runway to send it to a farm that's going to give me a better electricity rate, right? I hate that I'm having these conversations, right? But I'm in a situation where I've got a lot of this gear and there's nothing out on the market that's actually better. It's just rough seas in the CKB mining game right now. And how do I stay in the game on that front, right? And also I've got to ship this. You can estimate roughly $50 to ship a ASIC miner within the US. And so if I go from, say I'm paying 9 cents, right? So that'll cost me $200 a month to run that machine, and I go down to 8 cents, so about $25 less. Just that difference to make up the shipping cost is going to take me 2 months. That doesn't seem like long, but it's also a really long time, because this coin could be trading at half of what it is now or 4 times what it is now in just 2 months. I mean, things can change so fast in the crypto sector. At the end of the day, it's like, well, you may as well just turn them off and buy the coin and then turn them back on when you're ready. And that's true, but given my situation, the way I have these deployed, a lot of them are immersed. Some are at hosting facilities, many are here, but I have a lot of miners that earn more than they burn still, thankfully, right? And we take the higher end of this of 200 like per machine, and let's say we had all 15. That's costing me $3,000 a month to run. That's crazy. So I have 12 on site, so that's $2,400. So when I talk about these big electricity bill videos, that's how much of this is, coming from the CKB miners. They have very often been, up to 20% of my monthly electricity bill, which is huge. That's a huge impact. I'm bleeding a lot of cash on that front, but I operate it as a business. This is an expense, so I've got stuff earning more here and bleeding a little bit there. That can be offset in certain ways, depreciating my gear to the point where this can still be advantageous. But at some point, I can't just be losing across the board and red here, red there, red there. Like, that's the fast track to bankruptcy. It's a rough time to make this video, but I'm taking a very just nuanced look at the VoskCoin mining farm and what gear do I believe in? Can I make sense to run that's not in great shape? Does it have better replacements or not? And how does that factor into it? What does the upside look like? What is the exchange availability? What do the rest of the mining farm numbers look like, right? Or just, is it too red, or I don't believe in that project and it's time to shut it down? Cue the Gordon clip. Again, I love that.
Shut it down.
For now, I'm gonna let it ride. I'm believing in CKB, fingers crossed, and I hope the future's bright. And at the end of the day, the way I look at it is like, I gotta have some bets, I gotta have some plays, I gotta have some projects that I believe in and I hope and I root for, and I'm literally, truly, heavily invested in to get where I want to go with all this stuff. Bitcoin's fantastic, but just Bitcoin, in my opinion, is not enough. And it doesn't have to be other cryptocurrencies. It could be stocks, it could be real estate, it could be something else. But just Bitcoin alone, especially at this stage of the game, especially in this era, is not enough. For what I want, it's not enough. For what you probably want if you're watching this, it's probably not enough. If you want more, subscribe, and then you'll get enough. I'm Vosk on the VoskCoin YouTube channel. 10 seconds of tails. You're in 10 seconds of tails in every video because she is our super cutie pup. And yeah, that's all I got. I appreciate you. Let me know your thoughts on what I'm doing. Right decision, wrong decision, why, what are you doing? I'm all ears. The VoskCoin Collective is incredible, and a very powerful source. Don't give up. It's been rough. A lot of things are up, especially like on the stock market side, but on the crypto side, a lot of things are in rough shape. And I hope and believe that we're still gonna have a crazy alt season, still in this cycle, still soon, over the next year. Gotta believe. Sometimes it's all you have left.
Shine.